Hello, everybody. We're so excited to get started here today with you guys. I want to welcome a very special guest, Grayson Radcliffe. She is a fantastic professional softball player as well as a coach at NC State. So, Grayson, thank you so much for being here. Really happy to have you.
Kaylin, I'm excited to be here and just excited to see you excelling and thriving in this world and just finding new ways to grow our game. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So excited to get things started. So, Grayson, walk me through your career a little bit in college. I know you started at Marshall, ended up in Indiana, now playing pro for the Vibe. Tell me about that.
Oh man, softball was just so fun. This past weekend, we played down at FAU and I saw one of my old travel ball teammates, and it was just kind of like a full circle, like, thank you, Jesus moment type thing. But grew up outside of Richmond, Virginia. So played travel ball there, committed to play at Marshall really early in my career prior to the September 1st rule of your junior year that's been instilled in the NCAA now. But committed to Coach Shonda Stanton there. She moved to Indiana going into my senior year of high school. So at that point in time, there was no transfer portal. And so I stayed at Marshall, played a year there, extremely thankful for the people that I met and the experiences that I had. Loved Huntington, loved the herd, but wanted to go play for Coach Stanton. So transferred to IU, played for her there for 4 years because of the whole COVID ordeal, got another one, stayed to finish my master's and was on staff with her and her staff there. And then got the job at NC State in my second year here. Been playing for the Vibe for 3 years and am just excited to see what doors open in the softball world next.
Yeah, that is incredible. Tell me, how did you get connected with the Vibe, and what was it about the Vibe that, really excited you and what made you want to play for them?
Yeah, I think after COVID, the professional world was a mess and a wreck, and the NPF had just kind of crashed, and there was a couple of independent teams that were still happening and playing. But I think the biggest thing for me is I played in the FGCL. So I got to play in the collegiate league and experience that a little bit. Down in Florida, I played in it year 2, which is really cool to kind of see the growth from where it started to where it is now and just all that's happened and all the opportunities that are just available for softball players to go and to just grow their game and to meet new people and to expand their network and to just compete at a high level. So that was really, really cool for me. But down there, I kind of got connected with Ryan, and they were that was the year of the Olympics, or supposed to be Olympics. So it was really cool. They had like a pro team, but they were just scrimmaging the Olympic teams that year. And all of those pro players actually coached the college teams. So it was like Amber Pfizer and Morgan Howe and that whole crew. And so occasionally, if they were down people, I played up with them. So I was with them or filled in when need be when they were playing Canada or Mexico. And those were their Olympic teams. So it was really cool to kind of like dip my toes in the water a little bit there and help them out. And then when Ryan officially put together the Vibe and all the pieces and the loose ends kind of came together, he called me up and asked me if I wanted to play. And, I was pumped about it. And of course said yes. And I got a little nervous that I wasn't going to be able to. I had a little injury in the middle of my 5th year that I was like, but the Lord prevails. And so it was just really cool to get that opportunity and to just be with him in the Vibe ever since.
Wow, that is so cool. I had no idea that that was your story and leading up to where you're at now. That's really amazing. Can you talk real quick a little bit more about the FGCL and the American Collegiate League and just your experience in depth and what you think is beneficial for college players going in and playing in that league in the summer?
Yeah, I loved my experience down in the FGCL. Like I said, I played in year 2, so it was from year 1 to year 2, it grew tremendously. But at the time, there was only the league in Florida, so there was nothing else across the country. So with that, I think there were people from everywhere across the United States that came to play in Florida. So my favorite part of it was like obviously just getting to go out and play and compete against different people that maybe you wouldn't have competed against. But the networks and the people that I met through doing that really expanded my softball network. And I think that's the coolest part about our game is just who it allows your paths to cross with. And like we got to play together because of it. And I think that is one of the biggest benefits. I also think with the portal now, especially as a college coach, like if you're somebody who's in the transfer portal or looking to transfer or didn't get a lot of reps and you're going to stay at your school, but that next year, like you may be somebody that your team's going to rely on. I think that the collegiate leagues give you a really great opportunity to go do that. I think seeing live pitching is something that you can't duplicate anywhere. Even if I have somebody to throw to me back at home and I'm like, oh yeah, I can see a live arm. Like how beneficial is that really when it's not like full game? Like you just can't duplicate that. When you think about other sports like basketball, yeah, I can go play 3-on-3 or 5-on-5 and duplicate something somewhere else, but softball is so hard to do that with. And I think the collegiate leagues really give athletes the opportunity to go expand their game and to go grow and to go get better by going to play in them. And so I think that, baseball has all these opportunities to do that. Why doesn't softball? And now that we do, I think it's really cool. And I really highly encourage people to go do it.
Definitely. I think it's exactly what you said. So cool that now softball has this opportunity. The league still pretty young, but it has grown tremendously. And now you have more opportunities to play across the country. You have the Scenic City League in Tennessee, you have the Golden Bay League in California, and have the Lone Star League in Texas, as well as the Florida Gulf Coast League. So now plenty of opportunities for these collegiate athletes to go over the summer, hone their skills, get better. Like you said, see live pitching in game situations. It's just nothing else like it. So thank you for that. Can you talk a little bit more about your pro career up to this point with the Vibe? What have you seen? What have you experienced from year one to now year four, which is crazy to think
Yeah.
about?
Yeah. Yeah, I sometimes I'm like, wow, I've been playing pro for 4 years now. Like this will be summer number 4. But I think about my career and I just think that female athletes don't reach their peak until a little bit later in life. And so if I feel like I can still, I still got gas in the tank, I'm gonna go use it and go out and play. But I think it's been really cool to see the evolution of the independent teams and of the Vibe and now it trying to make Fastpitch United and what that's gonna be. And I think from year one, like everyone was like, "Oh, what's going on? Like, what is this? Like, who are these people down in Florida trying to start something?" But like I said, there was the crash of the NPF, so really there weren't any teams. Like there was an NPF that first year, but it was really the Vipers and the Pride just kind of going at it, and we played both of them. So maybe we weren't in the NPF, but we competed against the two teams that were that year, and so it was really cool to just go out and to have another team and another opportunity for people to go continue to play. And then year 2, it expanded a little bit more and we traveled to a couple different places and we played at some travel ball venues and, the fans started to show up a little bit and you saw that growth. And then year 3 last year, I mean, we go to Oklahoma, we go up to New York. Now there's 4 independent teams. There's a little bit more competition. There's some camaraderie. There's some like companionship between the teams of like, okay, like you're going to make me better. I'm going to make you better. And how do we grow this thing as a whole? And so that was really cool to see. And I think just the ability to have different pro leagues in different areas of the country that all come together and support each other is something that we need and something that was really cool to experience last year. And so I'm excited to see where that goes this summer.
For sure. And I mean, me being a part of the team year 2 and year 3, there was so much growth even just between those 2 years. Like you said, last year, the addition of more independent teams allowed us to play more games and get to travel. And I remember telling Ryan that this felt so much more like college in a way, like where we are traveling and we're playing a series and it's great competition. And then having the camaraderie between you and your teammates, but also you and girls on the other team. Like there were several instances where we got to go and hang out with the other team, like while we were visiting them. And that was really cool. And getting to actually meet and hang out with these girls who you played against in college, some of them, or you just saw, like watched them play in college was really cool. And then even this year, adding so much more to it. There's going to be even more travel. There's going to be tournaments that Fastpitch United sets up where the Vibe is going to play the Rise, or they're going to play the Smoke, or they're going to play the Spark. And there's going to be a tournament set up with that so that kids can come and experience pro softball, whether that be through the games or through a camp or through a clinic. So you're going to get that one-on-one experience with the fans as a pro player. And I think that that is so cool. And these fans, vice versa, are going to get that experience where they get to go and watch some girls that they probably watched on TV at some point, maybe, and or even not, maybe have heard of them and they get to actually see them in person and meet them. And I think that's going to be so cool. And that is one of the main goals of Fast Pitch United. It's why it's called Fast Pitch United, is to unite the youth and the pro, and then also the college players as well through the summer leagues. And it's supposed to bring everybody together on this big stage. And I think that it's so cool. But moving on, can you talk a little bit more about your hopes for this and what you want to see from this pro league and well, calling it a league is not exactly correct. It is still independent teams, but we are playing against each other. We are traveling, and now we have these youth tournaments. But what do you hope to see from it?
I think at the end of the day, however many years from now that it is, that everybody on the pro stage can come together and have one common goal. And that's just how we grow the game of softball and how we allow, maybe it's youth players currently, like maybe it's the 10U age group today, that by the time that they get to be 22 and above, that there's one consistent league that can just go out and they can compete and can play in. And I think that the opportunity to merge all three together just gives us a higher and a greater chance of doing that. AU is the other league right now, and with them creating separate teams and stuff, like they're doing great things over there. And I think we're doing great things, what we're doing with Fastpitch United and with the Vibe, and hopefully one day that everybody can merge together and make something great happen. But I think the ability to have a little bit of a stepping stone from the youth to the collegiate leagues to travel ball to whatever, and have everybody just merge together is something that's really cool and it's really special and hasn't been done yet. But I think that's the challenge with it, as is everything. When it hasn't been done yet, everyone has a bunch of questions about, okay, what's going to happen? But I think that's the great part about it, is you don't know what's going to happen. So why not buy into it, and why not support it? And why not sell out to this idea of what could be? And then we see how our game grows. Because if it hasn't been done yet and nothing up to this point has worked, then why not? And so I think that's would be my biggest message to people, is why not hop on board when this is what the future of our sport could look like.
100%. And that's really what it's going to take, is it's going to take people, because there's been so many people who have talked to me about it. Why hasn't pro softball really taken off? What has it been that has kept you guys from doing this? And honestly, like, I don't really know, but I know at this point what we're trying to do, and it's going to take the support of everyone. It's going to take these travel ball teams coming to these tournaments and participating and wanting to support the pro players. Really, yes, for the sport of the pro players now, but at the same time, for their potential daughters and their potential players. And like you said, in the future, those 10-year-olds now who are 22 and coming out of their college career and want to continue to play, or want to just be a part of the league, whether they want to coach or whether they want to be an athletic trainer or an intern, or there's so many different opportunities for them. But those opportunities are only going to happen if people support this league and support what we're trying to do with these tournaments, and come to the games and go to the clinics and do all the great things that we are trying to provide for them. So 100%, we've got to get people on board for the future of professional softball. So can you talk a little bit about what you're doing right now outside of Fastpitch United? So you mentioned a little bit getting involved in coaching and now being at NC State. Talk about that and what that's been like for you.
Yeah, I just love the game of softball and just the opportunities that it provides. And for me, like, honestly, I owe it all to my coach in college. Coach Stanton is an incredible human being from the top to the bottom. And I wouldn't trade my experience playing for her, coaching with her, for anything. And I think the opportunities that she gave me in college and the experience that I had and how much I enjoyed it and how much I learned from it and the person that I am because of what I went through in college with her is what made me want to coach and stay in the game. And so I tell people all the time, like, I hope that my athletes can have the experience that I had in college, and I can give them that because I had such a great experience, And that's the cool part about it. I think this whole thing is all about relationships. It's all about how we pour into people. It's all about the investment in just creating and cultivating strong, confident women so they go out into the world after their collegiate journey is done and they know that they can conquer anything and that they can feel empowered to do whatever they want to do. And I think that happens in college. And I think that college is the 4 most influential years of your life. And I think when you have great leaders and great people in front of you and great role models as your coach, that you walk out of it knowing and feeling like you can accomplish anything. And I had that. And I am extremely grateful to be like, that is my coach and that is who I played for. And I know that's what I got from her, And I want other people to experience the same thing. And my sister played collegiate softball. So my family's been in the softball world for a while now. And she didn't have fully the experience that I did. She went through 3 different coaching staffs at 2 different schools. And so there were people that she really enjoyed and that she loved her time with them. And there were people that she really struggled with. And seeing that there are 2 completely different sides of the spectrum, I want people to go to college and be like, I loved my experience regardless of what happened on the softball field because of the people that I met there and because of how I came out on the other side. And so I think that's the cool part about coaching is like, we're not just a coach. Like my coach used to tell me like, we're dream makers, and I really take a lot of pride in that. And I enjoy that piece of my journey here at NC State with the athletes that I've gotten to coach and the people that I get to be around every day.
That's so cool, and I love that that is the mindset that you guys have because it's so true. Like, a good coach can really make or break someone's experience, and you want to, one, provide that stability, but also know that your players are going to be there for you just like you're there for them. That's so important. You gotta have that relationship where you're gonna push them and you're gonna want them to be the best that they can be. It's not always gonna be easy, but at the same time, they know, okay, she's pushing me because she cares. I know at the end of the day that she's got my back. She cares about me outside of just the sport. She's someone, or he, either way, someone that I can go to when I need them. And no, whether I strike out 10 times or hit 10 home runs, my coach is still going to be there for me, still going to be working for me, still going to want the best for me and me to succeed. And so I think that's so great that you're able to cultivate that. And that's something that your players are going to get to experience. That's huge. Do you think that coaching has changed the way that you play? Like, is there a different way that maybe you see the game now as a player since you've been coaching?
Yeah, that's a really great question. I think that coaching has allowed me to grow in a lot of different ways that I never would have if I didn't get into it. I think learning from different staffs and working with different people also helps you grow your game. And obviously, I played for one staff, I'm coaching with a completely different one. And I love them, and so that's been really cool to learn from the people that I've been around and see how they view things or how they pick pitches or how they manage a game or what their strategies are on offense or how they play certain defensive shifts. And like as an infielder, I love that piece of it. And I think that's the cool part is you never stop growing in anything that you do. And so the more people that you can learn from, the better. And that's also another thing that I love about playing pro is I go in the summers and I'm with 14 teammates that all have a different side of softball, and I don't know, 6 of them coach, and 4 of them give lessons back home or work at a facility, and the other 3 maybe have a real-time job that they are able to get away for the summer, but maybe they coach high school ball or maybe that they do something else like that. And so that is the coolest part of our game is then I get to experience something else in my 9 months with NC State, right? And then I go away for 2 months in the summer. And yes, I'm back and forth working camps and recruiting and doing all the things, but I get to go to my teammates with the vibe and I get to pick their brains about what they do best because everybody has a different way of doing something and everyone has their strength. And so that's the best part about it too, is you don't just learn from the people that I work with at NC State every day. Like I learn from the people that I play beside every day. And so that's been one of the coolest parts of this experience too.
Yeah, that's awesome. And one of the things that you're going to get to experience is getting to play for Coach Dot Richardson, who has been at Liberty for forever. She's fantastic, was my first podcast guest, excuse me. Can you talk about what you're excited about there, getting to work with her, and that's someone else's brain that you're gonna be able to pick this summer?
Yeah, I'm extremely excited. I think Dot's a great hire. I think most importantly, she's an incredible human. And I think that's important when we talked about relationships as a staff and just your connection with your players. I think she's going to really be able to pour into that. I think Dot shines a different type of light because she is just so devoted to her faith and the Lord. And I think that's so important to just have that radiate out of you. And she absolutely has that. But I think most importantly, she's also passionate about the game of softball and she wants to grow it and she wants to enact change and she wants to figure out how to do that. And she's still finding ways after however many years she's been at Liberty to come out and do that. And I actually work with Paige Cassidy, who was with her at Liberty for 9 years and kind of helped transform that place. And so it's really cool to get a little piece of her already. And then obviously playing beside Kirby and Kara Canetto and getting to experience what they experienced through her as a player and both of them being on staff with her for a short stint of time and Kirby still being on staff. It's going to be really cool to see that come full circle. But Dot's an incredible hire. She's an incredible human. She's an incredible softball coach and just a great ambassador for our game. So being able to learn from her and grow with her is going to be really fun.
I agree. I think you guys are gonna have the best time. Getting to talk with her on our last podcast was so cool. She's got so much knowledge and so much passion. I think that is the number one perfect word to describe her is just passionate. She's very passionate about the game, passionate about her faith, passionate about growing professional softball. So it's going to be really exciting seeing you guys get to work with her and what she's going to be able to do for the Vibe this summer. And then another thing that you've gotten kind of experience, I guess, through pro when going to tournaments is getting to recruit. And that's a big part of your job during the summer is recruiting. So that's something you're going to be able to do this summer as well with the tournaments that you go to and then the tournaments that Fastpitch United puts on. Can you talk a little bit about that and kind of what your focus is when you're trying to play professionally, but then also trying to do your job as a coach and recruit players?
Yeah, I think when you play professionally, you have to stay in the softball world somehow, whether it's coaching high school ball, whether it's giving lessons, whether it's coaching in college. I think it's really hard to not do anything softball related and then show up in the summers and expect to be good because it just doesn't work like that. And so fortunately, I'm around softball every day. Like if I need to stay after practice and do something, I can. If I need to hop out with one of my players and show her something in the infield, I can. And so that's a blessing for me. I think that obviously recruiting is a huge piece of our game. And if you want to grow your program, like you got to recruit top-notch athletes. And so I fortunately have a boss that last summer let me take some recruiting weekends off to go play. But when we played in Chattanooga, I went out and recruited. And this summer when we play in Colorado, I'm going to get to go out and recruit. And so it's really exciting that that's kind of blending a little bit. So now the people that do coach in college can turn around and they can still play pro because they have the opportunities while they're playing to go out and recruit on the weekends or during the week or whatever that looks like. And I think it's going to allow more collegiate athletes that want to get into coaching to also play pro because there are some people out there that won't let you do both and they expect you to be at everything over the summer and they expect you to work camps. And because that's important. And at the end of the day, like that's your job and that's what pays the bills and that's what you got to do. But when you have the opportunity to do both, and now with Fastpitch United kind of getting in the mix and merging it and allowing for these tournaments to happen at these pro stages, it's going to really expand the ability for people to coach in college and to play professionally.
100%. And like you said, we have so many players on the Vibe right now who are college coaches, like you at NC State, Carmen at Western Kentucky, Kara Canetto at Radford, Kirby at Liberty, and Sierra at Walter State. Like, so there are going to be so many opportunities for these teams who are coming to watch the games to also then turn around and potentially get to be seen by high level college coaches. And that's so cool that it's like killing two birds with one stone almost. You get to go experience and watch the highest level of softball and then turn around and these coaches are at your games and they're watching your kids and they're recruiting your kids potentially. So I think that is another really cool piece to it is that there's going to be so many different opportunities. And if we do a camp that weekend that some of you guys end up, working at, like you get to see these kids in a camp setting and they get to meet you and they get to talk with you and they can ask you questions about playing, but also, hey, what do I need to do to get recruited by a school like NC State? How do I get seen by you guys? What do I, do I send you emails? Do I come to your camps? Do I, add you on X or whatever, recruiting does nowadays? That was
It's
not a
different.
part of,
It's
yeah,
different.
not a part of my recruiting process X,
Me
but
either.
I know now it is a big thing. It's a big thing for you guys. So, a lot of kids have those profiles on social media and are tagging coaches in their videos. So, a lot of different opportunities now for kids to get recruited by the top coaches, also get to watch pro softball, work with pro softball players, and grow the game as a whole. So, Grayson, I want to thank you so, so much for talking with me, spending your day with me, letting us know about your life, everything that you've experienced, what you're looking forward to. I wish you and NC State the best this season. I hope you guys come out on top. I know it is tough, me being a Florida State alumni, to root against anyone in the ACC beside Florida State, but I really do wish the best for you guys. You can beat everyone but Florida State. So that is.
We have them on schedule this year. We do go back to Tallahassee. So
okay, well yeah, that's fun. They're doing very well right now, thankfully, hitting lots of home runs.
Yeah, it's good for the ACC.
Yes, great for the ACC. I mean, Duke, they beat Florida last night, which is huge. Florida ranked number 2, and I've always been a big fan of Duke and what they've been able. I knew that they were going to be good. Like at the first time I ever played them, I was like, this team is on the up and up. They're going to be Pretty incredible. Also, so excited for NC State and what you guys are doing with the program now, being the second year with Coach Leftwich and what she's doing, being able to turn this program around and get it on the map. I think that she was a fantastic hire. Obviously, I think you were also a fantastic hire. What you guys are doing, I'm super excited to see where you are able to take the program as well. Um, so yeah, lots going on in the ACC. But again, Grayson, thank you so much for joining me today. And guys, make sure that you go to fastpitchunited.com, check out the schedule, check out everything that we've got going on. We have all of our events scheduled on there. We've got 2 big tournaments happening in the summer in Clermont, Florida, one in June, one in July. We also have a big tournament in Dalton, Georgia in August, and we're going to be adding a lot more tournaments throughout the fall for all of you guys to be a part of and get recruited at and get to work with pros and watch pros. So make sure that you are staying up to date on that, as well as tuning into this podcast. It's going to be posted bi-monthly. I will have a new guest on talking about softball, talking about Fast Pitch United. So make sure you guys are tuning in. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys next time. Follow us on social media, Instagram, X, and Facebook. Also, visit our website at www.fastpitchunited.com.